Thank
No,
you.
I haven't.
Into it on the
Not
train.
gonna lie, I read some of the questions.
That
Not
is
all of
okay.
them.
That is okay, because you guys are smart, so.
I'm on the quick on the spot.
Okay, so what's
So
the
I tell you what,
first?
Grace would be going, yeah.
Yes.
That's a good point, that is.
I'm
I
done.
totally agree.
Okay, so, okay, this one isn't really a group discussion, but, so how long have you been skating and what got you into the sport?
Okay, so so just sort of between us, it's been about 11 to 13 years,
Yeah.
at least between the two of us, and probably same for Grace. You know, Amy since age 8 and me since like age 5, probably similar for Grace again. And then for synchro, about 8-9 years.
Okay. Is that the same for you, Grace?
Yeah, I started when I was 7, and obviously 19 now, quite a long time. And I started synchro around the same time as them as well.
Okay, and what type of skating do you do? Are you competitive, professional? Is it a hobby?
It's competitive, but
Competitive.
it's unfortunately a hobby. Can't be my job.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like a professional or a profession. Obviously, it is unfortunately something that we have to fund ourselves. So I suppose it's not a professional thing, but
Yeah,
it is
hobby.
competitive because I suppose obviously we do
Yeah.
obviously
Competition.
yeah
Going
it's
to Worlds.
Yeah.
I think the same goes with me. Obviously, I'm not in the team anymore up in
Yeah.
Nottingham, but I'm looking more into my solo, competing solo now, and then eventually I would like to do shows where I am paid a little, paid to skate. Fingers crossed.
Would you want to go into coaching? Or like...
Oh, that's what I want. That's my end goal. Like, obviously I got the City and Guilds qualification in skate excellence coaching, but like I'd like to do the British ice skate coaching so I can actually have my own students.
Would any of you want to do like a judge or technical specialist?
That'd be sick, but you don't get paid. At
Yeah,
all for
that
it.
was
That's
that
the
would be my
issue.
only thing. I'd love to. Maybe in retirement. It would be something because
A little
honestly,
Jane
it's
Brown.
so interesting. But yeah, you don't get paid a dime.
Or if I were to do it, if I ended up being like a coach, like
Yeah,
a
it's,
attendant,
yeah. A
then
lot of
that's,
people
like,
do
kinda
it
worth it.
alongside coaching.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I actually reached... Do you know Aidan Kennedy? He skated for Solway. And
I
it's
think
just,
I know of him.
Yeah.
I like know the name.
He's just become a technical specialist, and I actually interviewed him for this project as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Was he at Skate London?
I think so.
Was he on the? I think he was on. Yes, well, I think
Yeah.
I know. I think he
Yeah.
was
He's
on the
probably the
panel.
only like young boy on the
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
So
Who's in that,
And Carlos.
yeah, Carlos. He's really
He's-
become like a judge
yeah.
or something.
okay. So do you think you've achieved what you wanted to within the sport, or do you think there's more for you guys?
I think obviously going to Worlds is like pretty, a
Big moment.
fantastic
Yeah.
achievement. But there's always more you can do. We want to do better next. Like this World's coming, so it's always like you can always go one step further.
I'd say definitely personally, we've sort of achieved what we kind of wanted.
Yeah.
Because we've sort of reached the most we can personally.
Yeah,
Obviously reaching Worlds, but now it's more of like a how can we achieve more as a team?
as a team, yeah.
And just improve synchro standing in GB anyway.
Yeah, because the main goal was actually just to get into the team.
Yeah.
Can't lie.
To be honest, just go to Worlds.
That
jacket.
that reminds me. Is Maisie?
no.
She was going to.
She got in, but then she was like, "Oh, my knee," and now she's not coming.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Because when Georgina told me that, I was like, you're joking. I'm like, that's a lie.
I don't know if she's because apparently she was going to uni in Nottingham, but I don't know if that's
I
still
just
happening.
don't think she can afford it.
That's what I was like. It's
Yeah.
got to be the money. I mean, I
It's-
don't blame her.
yeah.
It's so expensive.
Mm.
I know.
Okay.
I feel like with me, obviously, I've done Worlds as well.
Mm.
I feel like there is more to achieve. Like, obviously, Worlds is, I've achieved what I want in synchro. Like,
Yeah.
but personally, like, I do want to get to. I'm loving ice dance at the minute, girls.
Really?
Fucking loving ice dance.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing solo as free as well.
Mm.
Doing actually the gospel comp. Doing my
Oh.
long program at the gospel comp. before I do an open, because I was
Yeah.
like, do you know what? I have not competed solo in like 2 years. I was like, I need to do like something just to get out there again solo, so I don't shit my.
Yeah.
Oh, am I allowed to swear on here or
Yeah.
poop my pants? Okay.
I just won't quote that directly.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do Gospel Cop.
But why did you stop synchro?
Can't afford it.
Oh, that is very valid.
And I got a new job down here, so like, obviously they wanted us to move up there.
Mm.
And obviously the girls have, but yeah, miss you girlies. But yeah, unfortunately it just kind of wasn't an option for me,
Yeah.
because they wanted to do midweek training to get better, and I couldn't afford it, didn't plan it like
It's a lot of
with
commitment.
my life, at
Yeah.
the minute, so
That's understandable.
yeah.
Okay, question 2. What specific feminine aesthetics do you feel are encouraged or expected in figure skating? So, like upper class, slim body types, attractive costumes. I was thinking about costumes, I was thinking like a lot of. Obviously, the rules have definitely. I don't know what the word is, but like opened up. But like women can now wear like the jumpsuits and stuff. Like I see that a lot in the pairs. But do you think there's still an expectation with costumes for women to wear dresses?
Definitely. I think in terms of the bodysuits,
Mm.
even we kind of frown upon it. We're a bit
We're
like,
like,
Yeah.
ooh,
ugly. Like,
Yeah.
Because I think skating's a very traditional sport, and it's got a lot, and in its culture, it's sort of like the norm is you wear a dress and you wear a pretty dress.
yeah,
Mm.
And if you've got an ugly dress, then
Ooh.
you're going to be scrutinised for that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're going to be penalised for it as
yeah.
well.
And
in
what do we say? Like,
the
case
judges.
and examples, literally like Tonya Harding and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
She was like not conventionally attractive,
Yeah.
and she was just penalised for it.
Literally.
It's unfortunately just, it's wrong, really, but
Yeah. It's, yeah.
I don't think you can stop it, especially with the judging panel being old people, old retired people, because they don't pay them.
They're raised in the sport in
Yeah.
a very traditional time. So it's just, yeah.
Do you think that it's a bit of a cycle because skaters try and do the right thing to please the judges?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you think
Yeah,
some judges would be receptive to break away from that tradition?
Maybe with like newer judges coming up,
Yeah.
but especially the judge we've got, like Chris Buchanan, example,
Oh, he's painful.
painful man. No, he came to us with our program last year and he went, that music, change it. And then the coaches did,
And we changed
because
it.
they just follow what he says, and it's like,
Yeah.
why? He's not the only judge in the world. He's not even a judge anymore.
No, he's not even qualified anymore, whatever. He's too old.
I was about to say as well, with like the whole thing like changing as well. I think it definitely is getting better with the younger coaches and younger things come through, because this whole skinny kind of thing. You're seeing skaters now that are more like muscular and built.
Yeah,
for-
it's
built
becoming more
for-
of a trend to be
Yeah.
more look like an athlete than
Look like an athlete, rather.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
not your stereotypical
Yeah, she's
skinny girl.
built. She's
like,
built.
And
But
especially in
that's
synchro, I
good.
think that's very common to have very muscular girls like Darcy, like
Mm.
even like Anna, like because obviously to
The lifts.
to be able to do lifts safely,
Yeah, you need to
have
be
muscle
strong.
on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I do feel like skinniness is still quite a significant thing, especially in
Yeah.
synchro, and it definitely applies to flies in particular.
Yeah.
The amount of comments
You
we've had
hear
from our
like
teammates
yeah.
saying things
You-
like,
yeah.
"Oh, Grace, like don't eat,
Don't
just
eat,
so you're lighter to the lift."
Yeah, alright, don't eat this weekend. You got lifting next weekend.
Yeah.
That'd be
Not
It's a bit easier. It's just
It's like it's all like light-hearted, but it's just really
Yeah, it's all light-hearted, but it's those comments that get thrown around in the industry
Yeah.
that make people the way they
Yeah.
are.
And
Yeah.
they start to stick as well,
Yeah.
because there's another girl in our team, and she was just saying how she redeveloped a complex as a result of those kind of comments, and it was
Mhm.
difficult for her as a flyer to be constantly thinking about her weight and how her weight is affecting the people
impacting
lifting
other
her.
people's like performance. Yeah.
But then again, it's also like what someone in the team got told to put on weight. So it's like
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
coaches are being more,
Yeah.
but then it's people's bodies, and I don't know. There's just a lot of comments in the industry of commenting on
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
just
like you
don't.
say, it's that cycle. Like you can never kind of please everyone, I guess.
Would you say it comes from like every? Because when I think of skating, I think of the skaters and the coaches, and I think of like the ISU and the judging. Do you think those comments come from every different person?
In terms of the actual comments that are being said, I'd say the majority of the comments come from the skaters themselves in just general discussions about eating, especially like just the comments about I just skipped like breakfast today just so it's easier to get through this session without
vomiting. Yeah, if you're wanting to feel sick,
I don't need to feel hungry all the time or whatever. And I feel like the judges don't actually make comments because I feel like they'd probably get suspended or whatever. But I do think that they kind of reinforce the culture of it through their things, like with kind of reinforcing the things like the outfits and just in general the fact that obviously because it's a performative sport, obviously the half of your score is based on what you're presenting, so therefore how you look. So then obviously like what the judges are going to want to see is going to be a bit more biased towards the skinnier skaters or the more pleasant looking skaters.
Yeah. Whatever they find aesthetically pleasing to watch. So say you've got on like a catsuit and maybe you don't look the best in the catsuit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the issue. You might think you look great, but they might go,
what is she wearing?
Yeah.
It's not a stereotypical dress, so I don't know.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about music choice? Do you think
we were saying this? Yeah, like we say, like we obviously got told to change ours because it was. I can't remember what he said. He was like, "Stop trying to tell a story. Like, stop trying to be impactful." So, okay.
I was but then they're always like, if it's just plain and boring, they're like, "Oh, well, didn't we get?" But they don't really tell a story.
They said they didn't understand our program.
Your program was so obvious. It's
so
about Mother Nature.
And so by trying to make them understand it, we took out the words explaining what the program was. Anyways, but with like, I guess, other kind of music, an example like the juniors this year did Tetris, and I mean, that's not conventional. I don't think it's very out the box compared to Solway, who are obviously always winning with the beautiful, elegant, and then this time they did it again this year, and the kind of more unconventional one won, which was really nice to see.
Yeah.
But I would say that a lot of the time, prettier programs are preferred. But with the kind of this season, I mean, Unique winning with what's a very aggressive free program to Chicago. I wouldn't say that was very feminine. So I mean, what they wore was very feminine, but
and their skating style is
very aggressive, very Finnish.
Like when you think about like when like Russia were competing like Team Paradise, they were always winning and they were very like graceful and ballet.
Very traditional. Still what they do now. You can watch videos from like last season.
Nearly all of their programs are
classical music.
It's very mainstream, very traditional. And even just the programs and the lifts, like because even though they're very sort of like innovative, it's still very again graceful.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like teams like the Team Inspire, a lot of what they do is kind of a bit unpleasant, but it's still a bit
but it's got that wow factor. It's honestly more enjoyable to watch sometimes. And like with the solo, it's like you've got obviously Trusova compared to like Anna and Sasha and all that, and it's just like she obviously was way more aggressive compared.
Like she had the jumps with the music, but she didn't have the skating to the music.
No.
Whereas the other people had like Anna, for example, she had both. She had the jumps and the music choreography and in her face. And I think obviously you need a piece of music that's gonna express the way your style of skating, what your facial expressions can do. Because there's no point picking a piece of music that's graceful when you like an aggressive face and like it's always.
We were saying like with synchro, then it's hard to be like, because you've got 16 different people. It's hard to then conform to one thing. So that's where it becomes hard. Like you've got, say, us three, we all might like skating to different things, but we're all in a team together and we all have to skate to Mother Nature.
Yeah.
But that's like, so it's kind of, that's where it gets a bit hard to kind of all conform to the graceful things they might like that season. They're like, well, I don't like to skate like that.
That was a good point. Thank you. I'm just writing stuff down.
That's okay.
Okay, so question number 3. Do you feel a pressure to conform to these ideals?
Yeah, I think everyone does. I think
Mm.
in the industry, it's so hard to be like, no, I'm going to do my own thing, all of this lot. When you have the judges, you have peers, you have everyone,
Coaches.
coaches, everyone that's like followed those rules, put those rules into the coming people. So you can't really break away from the stereotype like quite a lot, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
When
But I would say like you don't feel like pressure. I don't know if it's the right word. I mean,
okay.
It's not like an obvious.
yeah, it's not
Yeah,
something that
it's
I'm.
not-
It's
yeah.
not something that I'm get like something that someone's like going, oh, you need to scale like this, and I'm going, oh, that really annoys me, because if it really annoyed me that much, I wouldn't do it. So
Yeah.
like, it's a pressure that you follow, but it's not something that's like a burden.
No, it like
Like,
comes with
yeah.
the sport, like everything.
It's like,
like
expected.
yeah, like football. Like there's things that come with football, and people do it still because they love it. Things come with skating, like the
Yeah.
dresses, the hair, the makeup.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
comes with
You
skating.
you wouldn't do it if you didn't love it. Yeah.
But you wouldn't do it if you didn't love the sport. So
Yeah.
I think,
You
yes,
just learn to accept it.
yeah. There's no
Because you also
like,
find that it benefits you in the end. Because obviously like 2 seasons ago, I was constantly told like, oh, you need to fake tan, you need to put some more bronzer on because you're looking a
Yeah.
bit pale.
You need to wear fake eyelashes. You need to do this.
Yeah,
you
all
need to
these
do
sort of
that,
stuff. But obviously, in the end, I ended up going along with it because it did make me feel better. Because obviously, I feel like obviously like it is nicer to feel like you do fit in like a team setting and to feel like you look pretty with the other pretty girls.
Yeah.
But also like it also kind of just made sense because obviously I don't want to look white and pasty on the ice.
Because you will just blend in, I feel.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it kind of made sense, even though it was a pressure. It was almost like a necessary pressure for me to then also feel
Her realization.
to also then not feel my best to then want to perform as well, because I feel like a big factor, obviously
It's
in the
feeling
sport,
confident.
is to feel confident enough to want to perform your best,
Mm.
to obviously then get the points and stuff. So it's quite a crucial factor to almost want to conform and blend in.
Yeah, to look
So you
the
can-
part and feel the part, so then you can
Yeah.
perform your best.
Yeah.
So for you, did that happen like 3 years ago then? Would you say, or do you think it started before then?
It was in that first season we did of Solent. I was told,
Roxy.
by Roxy, Hannah gets a big
Hannah, you're a little bit pale.
So that was what, the 2022-23 season.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was around then. And then from then on, I gradually
I
sort of.
don't think any of us used to like fake tan or be massively into makeup, I guess, when we were in
Yeah.
like younger years of synchro.
Yeah.
I think when you start getting to the more kind of like higher levels and it's a bit more competitive and you're a bit
Yeah.
older.
And when there's more professional photos around
Yeah.
you. Because I mean, even Esther is always like, oh guys, for this day, please turn up to training with a slick back and with
face
some base
makeup,
makeup
yeah.
and lashes and stuff, because
Yeah.
she wants you to look presentable to Crispy Cannon.
For like, yeah.
Also, like, or to Yeb and Mark, whoever's coming to our sessions
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you'll know that like for like stolen official practices or Isle of Wight, like we would never wear
No.
makeup or
Because you'd sweat it off.
because you sweat it off. Icicles, you do your official practice
in full makeup.
full glam.
How does it not sweat
Actually,
off?
you don't have to wear eyelashes, but yeah,
it does sweat off. You have to
You're
redo
like-
it.
you're
You
like
have to, yeah.
What
you
setting
literally-
spray are you guys using?
Dresden, it was boiling.
Yeah.
You do get you. Then she's like, make sure you take off, do a new one.
Yeah.
Then you're
That
like,
would stress me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot. But,
It's just part of the thing, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
you just kind of
and
roll
also
with
it's
it.
kind of nice in the end
Because they feel
because everyone does each other's makeup.
Yeah.
It's like you do the eyeliner, so it's nice little team bonding thing.
yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Was it the same with you, Amy and Grace? Like, when did you start feeling that pressure? Not pressure, but like expectation.
I can't say. To be honest, I've always been very into makeup and like I'm a very girly girl, so like I've always not so much the fake tan because way, but like I was always wanting to wear lashes and like wearing loads of makeup, so I was never kind of that kind of sense. So not so much for the aesthetics of it.
Yeah.
I feel like feeling pressures that way, but feeling pressures like in the sport for other things, like to be as good as your teammates or as good as other teams or whatever, to be all constantly improving and comparing to other people. Like, say, for example, our flexible Hannah. Why isn't my spiral as high as Hannah's? Well, that's a good question. But like pressures like that definitely always like I can't even date when started facing those. Always face like comparing yourself to other people, but not so much in the kind of hair makeup kind of way.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Grace?
Yeah, I was quite the same. Obviously, I never really put like lots and lots of makeup on when we competed. And obviously, then as I got older, I got more into makeup, and I was liked doing makeup. So it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was a pressure. Again, I'm quite pale like Hannah. But then again, I quite liked the fake tanning because I was like, it made me feel a bit better as well. Yeah. I have to do it if we're going on a night out as well. I've got to look tan. Or anything like that. I guess I probably felt pressures in the other ways to like Amy, like especially as like you have the youngers coming in that can. The youngers that pop up on the spot, that they can do the jumps and they can do this and they can do that, and I'm like, well, I've got it, but they've got it at the age of 10, whereas I'm 18 and I've literally just got it. So you find, and that sort of pressure, I guess, is always there. And the next new things, what's the next new shiny thing gonna come?
Yeah,
exactly.
But
kind of we sort of said on the train. Is ability tied to appearance? So like things which sort of typically make you a good skater, like good leg lines, they're partially dictated by sort of what you look like. So if you were to have like bigger legs or like less definition, then you're less likely to be credited with good extensions or like nice leg lines and stuff. So then I feel like it's very easy to then get sucked into that pressure of wanting to look more slender so you can perform better, and because again, I feel like the nature of the sport demands that you do conform to those kind of standards of beauty and stuff as well.
No, I hadn't thought of that. That's actually really good. Because what the paragraph I just did today, well, not paragraph, like how many other words it was, but like I was looking at the athletic performance versus the aesthetic presentation and how that's related in the scoring system, and I think it 100% is. And within the technical part, innovation and like pushing the boundaries is rewarded. Where I think if you push the boundaries in the program components, like the presentation, it isn't.
Yeah, definitely.
So it just made me think of that. That's okay. Okay, if you did feel pressure to conform, do you feel like there'd be a safe space to like say that, or no? Or is it more like an internal thing?
I would say it kind of depends. I'd say it depends what kind of pressure it is, because I know that one of the girls who was receiving those comments, she did try and take it to the coaches in our team, because it was one girl in particular who was making those sort of heavy and like weight comments to her. They tried to take it to the coaches, but I don't think anything was really done about it, because I think it would have stirred a bit too much trouble and it would have been a bit too much drama. And we do have like welfare teams who are also made aware of stuff, but I don't feel like anything's massively done about it. But just obviously we've only been in the team for a season, so I feel like we've joined on like a season where the coaches have definitely tried to tone down and dial down their aggression to the team, because we've just had stories of previous seasons where they've been quite brutal and stuff. But just from the previous season, like the coaches have made comments about how they don't like to make comments about what we should be eating and stuff. So they know their boundaries in terms of that.
They always just say make sure you're eating, but they never say like you should be eating this.
Yeah, it's always just like just make sure that you're feeling.
But if it's like say like appearance and stuff, Esther's always telling people, like Zelda and Scarlett, like some of the pale girls on our team, make sure you got that fake tan on, like, and like, have you done your base makeup today, Amy? Yeah. Yep, I actually have.
That would actually make me cry. I'd be like,
It's
Like, oh, okay.
but she doesn't mean, and half of the time it is just because they want to be just proud of what they put out there, and I do get it, but sometimes the delivery is just like, oh, okay.
It's a bit tough love.
Yeah,
Definitely.
defo with Esther.
But to be fair, they kind of do it the same way in terms of your ability then as well. Because I can't lie, Louise is fucking brutal. The way she delivers like some of the leg line comments, and she's like, "Oh, how I like you," and like she's like what was it? It was the do you feel your leg on your knee when you twizzle? No. Yeah, because it's not.
Yeah, that's because it's not.
Okay.
And we're just like, oh, so yeah, sometimes they can be very brutal, but I still feel like I feel so safe. Like, if I had a genuine worry and needed to go to them, I'd say more Lauren.
Yeah.
I feel like I could go to Lauren for anything.
Yeah.
And if it was, obviously...
And again, we have welfare, which is like an independent...
Or team managers, like our Heather. She would do anything for you.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
and
there's plenty of support in the team.
Peers as well, because we frequently complain about the coaches together, and we're always like, that's really unfair. Because about that girl who was told to put on weight, we were all saying that's really messed up, like she shouldn't have been saying that to you. So we kind of like confirm her feelings and like try to validate them. So I think there is like a safe space to sort of just like clap back at those pressures when it's needed, especially if that person's feeling down about it. There is a space for that.
That's very nice actually to hear, because I don't know, I feel like when it was like the Isle of Wight, there was a lot of bitchiness and stuff going on, and everyone would just complain about stuff. But then there was always that thing, like, we were complaining about things together.
Yeah.
And it was like, you kind of like, not bond over bitchiness, but like when someone's upset, everyone just kind of understands why.
Yeah, validates it, yeah.
Do you know what I also thought is when, obviously in Icicles, it's very different to what it was in like Solent and that, because there was no parents involved.
Oh, yeah.
And like obviously parents can have a lot of say in what they think of people, how people look, how people skate. Oh, my kid's better than them. So I think sometimes a lot of stereotypes from skating do stem from parents.
Yeah.
Again, they're older. Yeah. They see what they want to see and they don't have any filter. They say it to other parents. It gets back to people. Yeah. And then again, it's hard to break that cycle. But whereas, like, obviously in Nottingham, I found, like, obviously we're all adults, no mums and that came to training. It was a totally different, more mature kind of, like, way of looking into the team. Like, the coaches made the decisions, and that was that. Whereas, obviously, before, it was, parents had their little pipe in, and decisions were made on that. So I think it is better, obviously, in Icicles, because... There's none of that kind of parent involvement on the way people are and how people skate.
That is, because I would actually hate to be Terry and Paul with their WhatsApp, and like the parent just complain about stuff, blah blah. I just block them. Your daughter's not skating. Okay.
I know. I would have no filter. I'd be like, I would just not reply to any of it. I've made my decision.
How inclusive do you feel the figure skating culture is when it comes to different expressions of identity? So considering like race, disability, sexuality, like all of them.
Inclusive. I feel like, at least in synchro, I mean, we have a very white team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I can't. But I don't know if that's not because, like, obviously
it's not because we pick the white
skaters.
It's more what's available.
Yeah.
And
no one of colour actually ever tried. We've got Bahira.
She's from Egypt.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it in terms of like
variety
of race. Variety of disability. You have that. Was it that Nottingham?
The Nottingham girl who has
one leg.
With the one leg.
She's from Dance.
Yeah. I know who you mean.
And she gets to compete, and obviously there's like the inclusive category and stuff like that, which is growing. It had
had one team.
Like one
No, it
team
had-
and
4 teams at what's it called?
Yeah.
Still City.
Still City, yeah. So it's gone from
Okay.
one team
One
to
team
4.
to 4, yeah.
And literally a season as well. Not.
Yeah,
And
it's
literally
so
a season.
crazy. So it's nice
It's
to
sort
see
of
that
like-
that's growing.
Yeah, and Paul's always going to the Special Olympics stuff.
Yeah,
So, like,
Oh yeah, he's
Big
always
advocate
yeah.
for that.
yeah.
And then what else did you say? Sexuality. I mean, there's that what's her name? The girl who I don't like. because
Oh,
she's a
that's
colour
Susie
guy.
on Ice.
Susie on Ice.
Oh my god, her, yeah.
Yeah.
She wins everything, and she's very openly a lesbian.
Mm.
Although
Obviously
in
isn't discriminated
Synchro-
for it because she wins. So
I think in Synchro it's a kind of like a hot topic. At least like I can't lie, fucking Ella Rake is always making comments about all the other lesbians in different teams because she literally forwarded to me like the
Who's
like
lesbian?
what no one from our team that I know
Oh.
of, but
Dollars and D.
no, it's in like from other teams.
Oh.
So basically, it was at Worlds. Ella Rakes forwarded, just a girl from our team, obviously from last season.
Mm.
She forwarded a story of a Skyliners girl.
Oh, I know who
picture with
Alexis.
her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Ella forwarded that to me and goes, oh my god, she's a lesbian, and I was like,
Okay.
okay,
Oh,
expand.
Ella Rakes just loves to make
Gossip.
gossip. She's
and
not.
then-
She's not judging. She's going. Oh my god. Did you know?
But I
Yeah.
think it kind of is though, because
No, probably. Yeah.
Because she then went, oh my god, I bet that's so awkward for rooms at like competitions, and I was like, not really, because
she's obviously got a girlfriend. She's
yeah.
not attracted to anyone.
but also because acting as like lesbians are like raging, you know,
Just horny all the time.
like, God.
You're a girl.
So I think the culture in Synchros with some of these mean girls.
What were we gonna say about boys in
Oh,
skating? About like we
yeah.
obviously have Joel, who's
Oh yeah.
obviously not gay,
Mm.
but then you obviously have a lot of
I feel like it's
gay
a
male
very,
skaters
it's a
and
very common
conception.
assumption to go, oh my god, boy in skating, gay.
Gay.
Well, a lot of them actually aren't.
A
A lot of them aren't. No.
No.
I mean, a lot of them are. But
A lot of them are, yeah. But then there's again like Mark Henneretti, for example.
Mark
He's
Hamretti.
I
very-
thought he
He's
was.
quite
Very
cool.
nice.
They're very feminine and they're in touch with their feminine side, but they're not gay. Just
Yeah.
because
No.
just because they are flexible and have that feminine side, that
Yeah, they just
skating
have
quite
feminine
likes.
traits. Yeah.
Yeah.
does not obviously mean they're attracted to men, and same doesn't mean they're attracted to
Yeah.
women. So it's like,
Exactly,
Mm.
yeah.
It's like I don't think Joel's not he's not like as kind of
He's not very
eccentric
camp,
as
no.
like Paul and Mark Hamretti would be. He's defo just more, he's like a normal kind of
Yeah. He's still
16, 17-year-old,
graceful.
but he's
But he's more graceful in terms of like he's good at the sport.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
knows he's
Mhm.
good, so like he's got that cockiness about him, so I feel like that's how he doesn't like get like because I guarantee it, like he goes to school, he's putting his
He's
friend,
definitely got a bunch of boys going, oh,
oh,
you're
you're
so
so
gay.
gay, you skate.
Yeah.
He probably just goes, but I'm winning everything I'm doing, so I don't
Yeah.
that's so
I'm going to
dumb.
Worlds.
That's so yeah.
Because when I was doing my research, there was this case study. It was locked, so I couldn't read all of it. But there's this case study that these people did in Canada, and it was this person who was transgender, and they skated in synchro, and they transitioned through the season, and like the researchers followed their journey and everything, and they were talking to like their teammates and their coaches about it all, and I don't actually know what happened because I couldn't read it. But what do you think about gender and like non-binary?
The only thing that sprung to my mind immediately was like how that worked with changing rooms, but
Yeah,
Um,
but I suppose you have
to be
like
fair, boys go separate.
go
anyway,
separate
so-
anyway, and I mean I would just be that I would hope they'd be in a team that would welcome that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I think
About, yeah.
it
I
doesn't
feel like in
I
high
think
schools it wouldn't happen.
no.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like with synchro, it's boys and girls. We don't have a girls team. It's not a
Yeah.
boys team. It's
so I feel
a
it's
girls
easier.
and boys.
Yeah.
So I
There's no
feel
like boys category, girls category.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like what
it
you've got
wouldn't
a team
make
of
a difference,
16
really.
Yeah.
They would just
of
need to
people.
be in a
Yeah.
costume they're comfortable in, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In terms of like the reality of it in the ice schools, like I feel like we've got too many judgy people for that to happen without it being an issue.
Yeah.
Not because it's like, oh, like obviously it shouldn't happen. It's more of like I just know the comments would just be
there's too many
insane.
people who are just a bit
yeah.
closed-minded.
And they're sort of stuck in their ways and the mentality of it.
They've obviously just got that, like, what's it, traditional view, like the judges.
Yeah.
What do you think about it in ice dance with, like, do you think there will ever be a stage where two boys can compete as a pair? Because they're doing it on Strictly.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I think so, because is that Gabriela Papadakis and that American skater, that they've been advocating for a lot of like same-sex ice dance, and I think that would be really interesting, not just obviously for inclusivity, but also just to expand the potential of the sport, because I feel like there's
not that many boys.
There's a lot more new elements you could introduce and just styles of ice dance, and just I think it would open a lot of doors just for the sport to
more people would do pairs as well, like more like female partnerships would do pairs.
Yeah, I was about to say, because it's all that if you're doing ice dance, you can't go to the world solo. You have to be with a partner.
You have to be a partner,
and there's not enough boys to accommodate those girls. Whereas obviously, if they were same-sex partners, a lot of girls would be like,
you need to find another girl who's good like you,
And also, girls can clearly lift. So
Yeah.
it's not an issue on that part.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like there would probably need to be maybe a separate category.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
I
you
think
couldn't-
that-
I don't
yeah,
think you
definitely.
could put the
No.
because like you say, it'd have to be different elements and stuff. And like, say it was two, you couldn't put like two guys against two girls,
Yeah,
and
I
then
feel
like a
like
girl.
it
It doesn't really make any sense
Yeah.
because it's just they're all very different.
Yeah, it would have to be like a different almost discipline
Yeah.
with different elements, like you said. But it's all like male and female gymnastics. Like,
Yeah.
sort of play to your strengths and like in what women can do.
Yeah.
And what men can do. and
Maybe it's
stuff,
called
so.
like maybe it would be called like doubles instead or something
Yeah.
instead of pairs, like figure skating doubles,
Yeah.
That's
like tennis.
Copyright that.
That is copyrighted. This is being filmed, so I've got it. In case
Yeah.
that ever happens.
Here.
I had another question. Sorry, what were we just? The brain frog is getting me. Disability. Because I only found this out recently. In the Paralympics, ice skating isn't in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I just thought it was too small. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
there wouldn't be a
they're
like.
not competitors. Because
They have they've got these Special Olympics, which I think is a
Yeah.
whole separate thing. It's obviously not in like the
Yeah.
Paralympics, but
yeah.
they've got their own Special Olympics. So I guess in that sort of sense,
Yeah.
they've got that, but then it's still separate from everyone else. And I'm like,
Yeah. But the Special Olympics is like learning. It's not like the actual physical.
not the physical one, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like in terms of actual logistics, I feel like obviously that lady with the amputated leg is figured out a way, but I think that's very expensive. I can't lie, because the only way she could afford to get a prosthetic skate was through dancing on ice. Obviously, so she's got the money to facilitate that.
Yeah.
So I feel like in terms of the logistics for things like amputees, it's quite limited. Because the sport's expensive enough as it is. Let alone to then need the extra training and help and whatever you need to succeed at that kind of level. I think there's a lot of barriers for disabilities, unfortunately.
Yeah. Because a lot of like with the inclusive teams, like a lot of them can't even skate on their own. They have to have like
helpers.
other people on the ice with them. So it's more like I feel like for those kind of categories, it's more just like for them the experience.
It's more of a hobby.
It's not
Experience,
competitive. So I think I don't think it's breached that competitive side yet. So I kind of understand why it's not in it yet.
Yeah.
Would you want to see it in it?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, honestly. I like to see synchro in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I
that one
want. But I don't
20,
get.
30 guys.
But it's literally like the most interesting ice sport there is.
Don't get us started on that
We
tangent.
could go on for years.
Don't think your dissertation.
My supervisor, so I got put with her because she has her own magazine and I'm doing a magazine for my final project. But I was telling her about it and she was like, yeah, I used to do synchro. And I was like, Like,
What?
yeah, she used to skate for bloody D-side in Wales.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bring back D-side. What happened to D-side?
Were they D-lights? They
D-lights.
used to skate to them. Remember that team?
Yeah.
Bring back.
And when she said that, I was like,
those ones
stop
with
it.
the fuck-ass hair.
The hair pieces, yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. God. They didn't conform to performance standards, did they?
No, but yeah.
They performed to showgirl standards.
Yeah,
Oh, fucking
another showgirl.
Ugh.
Speaking of showgirl, Grace Taylor hasn't started yet.
She's not.
No.
She'll start
Is she
tomorrow,
going to?
probably.
We
Oh,
think she
okay.
starts tomorrow. I just messaged her like, when is that? Because we're interested to
Yeah.
see how she's going to switch from showgirl to synchro.
Yeah.
Oh
quite
yeah,
big
it's gonna be
one.
interesting
Yeah.
actually.
Mm.
What synchro is she starting? Solent or Icicles?
No,
Yeah,
Icicles.
Go on.
Mm.
Yeah.
But she's friends with like Eloise Godwin.
Yeah.
Goodwin. Do you
Yeah.
know what I did with Eloise? Oh, this is actually really embarrassing. So I was literally on Snap Maps, and Amy, I've done it to you before actually when you were on holiday.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
And you accidentally send them like, I viewed your location. It was like
Yeah.
the
No,
eye
no,
emoji.
no.
I sent that to her, and I was literally like, and she opened it straight away. I was like, sorry.
Oh, not
Oh.
straight away.
That's her.
I'm going back.
Fucking annoying.
Yeah, but she was nice
Nothing's
about it, so
getting past her.
it's okay.
It's like, oh, sorry.
Is the knee holding out?
Oh.
Oh.
She's just in pain every session.
Why
Oh
is
my
she, she needs to rest it, please.
Why
Why
is she
on
doing
that?
it to herself then? If
She's not even cleared yet by a doctor.
I know. I'm surprised her coaches are black on the
I
eyes.
know.
Yeah, fair.
But too bad.
She
they-
just
they
looks
probably
in
go
pain.
back.
She just looks in pain the whole time.
I know.
Honestly, her private
He's not gonna
story is her
skate.
just doing like
Yep.
knee exercises, and I'm like, girl, I feel for you.
So annoying.
Yeah.
She was so desperately trying to hold on to her being in the team last season. I'm like, you didn't skate once. You were not on the team. I'm sorry, but she was like, "Oh, I missed my pretty dress. The pretty dress that you didn't wear on the ice once."
Yeah, I feel bad for like, and she's like, this season's my season, but I'm like, babe, please rest your knee. You're gonna give it permanent.
It's gonna go
damage.
worse.
Like,
Mm.
please, for the love of your life and like the rest of your adult
Actually,
life,
walking ability.
you're gonna need your knee. I fear.
No, it's really sad.
Honestly, if I were her, I'd be the same. I'd be like, I just want to be on the ice, but like, please rest your knee.
Yeah, she's to the limit.
I don't know how you say his name, but the one that looks like you, Grace. The figure skater. You know the American one?
Oh, Ilya.
Yeah, him. He
Oh,
looks
yeah.
so much like you, Grace.
Looks like me.
He does look like you.
He's my brother.
But like he skated to like bloody NF.
Yeah.
Which is quite a deviation from what a winning.
Yeah.
Mm.
He does whatever the hell he wants.
He
Yeah.
does what he wants
has
and
a
he
jump
owns
forward.
it.
Because he can, because he can do quad axel.
I feel like
It's-
men
yeah.
can do so much more because they have just the quads to back it up.
Yeah.
Whereas in
Yeah.
women's, they have to.
You
skate
have so much
than
else
those
more that you're
ones.
relying on. Whereas they've got all these high scoring jumps, so they're just like,
Then I go, fuck, they're fine with it. And also, I feel like in general, it is a bit more now acceptable to do kind of like a laddish program, whereas obviously a girl can't do that.
No,
Otherwise it's
no,
like,
I know.
what's
It's
it?
probably like I'm making history anyway, so might as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
bit of
Because
edge.
especially Nathan Chen, he was big on that with his sort of like rock like.
yeah.
Like,
And I feel
working.
like components are definitely scored differently for women and for men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they are scored on power and like
Mm.
speed and things like that, whereas women, you're meant to be graceful and pretty and elegant, and
Yeah.
all that looked like it was a struggle for you. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to look effortless, whereas for men, if they look like,
Yeah.
they just need to look powerful in the eyes.
Yeah. Because I guarantee that if Sasha Trusova was in that men's category that season, she would have won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like she obviously, like Grace said, she didn't have the
Elegant.
elegance like Anna did, whereas men don't really have. I mean, some men do, obviously.
Yeah.
What's his name? Who I love.
Jason Brown.
Yeah, and the French guy,
Kevin.
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 He's fantastic
I
to
love
watch.
Kevin. He's so cute.
So, would you say it's a very like gender-bounded sport?
Yeah, honestly.
Do you think that'll make it harder for like transgender people and non-binary people to excel? Because
Maybe.
Yeah,
Because then
yeah.
they just find it more difficult to pin them.
Yeah, because I
Also-
feel like there's a male, like, stereotypical female skater and stereotypical male skater. There's like floating in the middle, but then the floating in the middle just doesn't score well.
Yeah.
And
in
like
either category.
men are just like, they're on another level in skating.
Yeah,
So,
so
you've got,
say-
if
yeah.
they transgender to like a woman, and they're in the women category, like obviously the women then might feel like, oh,
Yeah,
right, great, like
you're always going to get
Yeah.
the comments of
You're always
all
gonna-
other
yeah.
sports have that, like currently with the
yes,
it's
yeah,
unfair.
it's all like up in arms for like.
But then
Olympic
even the
sports,
other way
isn't it?
round, it's not. Is it fair for then a transgender man to then be transgender man? Is that right? Yeah. To then a woman transition to a man to then compete in the male category. It's got
But,
so many different disadvantages.
Obviously,
surely.
yeah, in terms of that
Yeah.
logistics, like, yeah, obviously that all applies. But in terms of just performance, like, if we're just looking at, because say, like, you know, like, if a transgender man, so man to woman, would find it difficult to go from, obviously, yeah, male to female, and then tries to compete in the female category, I feel like they wouldn't have that barrier in terms of performance because we do have male skaters who are very elegant and very feminine.
Yeah.
So in terms of performance and like how you express yourself
Yeah.
and the components, no, I wouldn't necessarily say that there is a barrier with that because you can. I feel like it's not applicable for men to be elegant, but it is a boundary for women to be masculine.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a one-sided thing. So therefore, I feel like, yeah, you know what I mean?
No,
Like for
I agree.
transgender people.
Do you think that's why like Tonya Harding? I know she's not transgender, but she was very like
Yeah.
muscly and like powerful.
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Combined with,
saying.
like,
Is
her.
like she was doing everything to she was doing everything they wanted for her to win, and it still just wasn't
Very
good
good
enough.
technically.
Still wasn't
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
She's like, it's not enough, and she's like, I'm landing at everything you want me to, but I'm still
Yeah.
not winning. And they're
I'm
like,
still not winning. Yeah.
I think what did they literally say to her? She's like, you don't give off
Yeah.
our like all
Yeah.
American skater.
Yeah.
You don't. This is what like US figure skating wanted to portray was like the girl next door who's pretty
Nancy
and
Kerrigan.
smiles and where she did what the hell she wanted, like
Yeah.
was from a broken home
Had ugly dresses.
and had ugly dresses
ugly
because she
dresses.
wasn't rich and she couldn't afford to
Yeah.
have a designer
made her own
for
ones.
her. She made her own ones, and she just did what she wanted, but it just wasn't enough.
Do you think that is still? Oh, I'm trying to think of the right words. If that happened now, do you think it would kind of play out the same way?
I think in terms of like, obviously, I think with the sport being so expensive, I think it is hard to feel like you fit in. Especially, I think in solo, synchro it's easier because you're all wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but I think obviously in Solon, we kind of showed that we were a club that didn't spend money on stuff. We wore dresses that were from seasons and seasons before, and we still won against a team that had dresses made for that program. Like, we kind of showed that you don't need to have all the money. You just need to,
shiny things.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just need to.
But on
show-
the
put
elite
it on
top
the
level,
ice, yeah.
yes, I think exactly.
Yeah.
And it still does
Yeah.
happen against state.
And I think more in solo as well,
Oh,
because
definitely in solo.
say you're a solo skater
Yeah.
who's like not paying as much, obviously in terms of like dresses and stuff, but then also just lessons. If you can't afford to have the lessons, it's like it's all how much money you can plow into the sport, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And also, what is it? Recently, who won? Is it obviously? Is it Kaori Sakamoto? She's a bit more of a powerful skater.
Yeah.
And to be fair, in the past, 3 World Championships, she won all 3 of them. So I do feel like there has been a bit of a deviation from the sort of standard of, of the winner being purely just skinny, tiny, and
But then you've got
pretty.
what's her name? The
But
American.
then recently, obviously on the most recent one, Alyssa Liu won that, and she is a bit more slender, a bit more feminine and stuff. So
Although I didn't
I
like
don't
her
know.
dress.
an ugly dress.
I was thinking of the other American, Isabeau,
Oh, she's so like.
but she's your traditional.
standard.
She like traditional figure skater.
But she doesn't have the jumps to back
No.
it up yet. So.
But
I don't
looks
know, yeah.
aesthetic wise, she is like figure
Yeah.
skating to a T.
So I feel like kind of like yes and no. It is happening today. I don't know. It's there's examples
Yeah.
for both.
I suppose it's hard to judge as well because you're not a judge.
No,
so
yeah,
true. We
you
don't have
don't.
the inside
We don't
knowledge.
know what goes on
You need to
in the
ask Chris
coach's
Buchanan some
room.
questions. He loves to talk about himself.
Chris Buchanan loves to talk about himself. I guarantee he'd say yes.
He would say
He
yes
did that.
to
He
it.
did Brain Afton's podcast. I mean,
I might hit him up actually.
Yeah.
Do it.
Wait, Hannah, what did you just say?
she
I just said like overall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just sort of like yes and no. Like I do think that it still happens today with the whole, you know.
Thank you. It's just the chemo brain fog. I'm not being rude. I
Fine.
promise. I am listening to what you're saying.
It's fine. Just don't record it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay, so the last question. Would a variety of representations within figure skating create a more empowering and creative sport?
What do we write down? Get on it.
Get your notes out.
We said we think so. Wait, hang on. What's the question? So I need to tie it again.
Would a variety of representations within figure skating create a more empowering and creative sport?
Yeah, we said yeah, because we think that that Team Unique do a really good job at sort of breaking boundaries in expression and variety. Because unique skating style is quite, again, a very
Unique.
aggressive.
Mm.
It's unique. So I feel like yeah, like and I feel like in terms of the craze and what people are talking about, people were talking a lot more about teams like Team Unique and Team Inspire, who are less so traditional but breaking boundaries, as
Yeah.
opposed to teams like Rockettes and like Hayden Nets. Because I can't lie, could anyone tell me what Hayden Nets programs were this season? I don't think anyone could.
I mean,
Because they're so fucking
yeah,
dull.
they were boring because they were just
Yeah.
like your average synchro program, which a few years ago
Yeah.
probably would have won.
Would have won, but yeah, everything's
It's
changing
just-
now.
It is turning more into they're trying to get that wow factor, and I don't know if it's to do with the whole why not synchro and why not the Olympics. They're trying to make it more exciting to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the old synchro programs for a non-skater to watch, they can be a bit boring.
Yeah, they can.
But
drag
with-
on.
Like if you watch, like we find them insane to watch for like the technique, but if you're just a average person watching like Next Ice Mud, you're not gonna understand. You're just gonna be like, why are they just crossing in a circle? But now we're doing lifts, we're doing flips, we're chuck, like the new rule this season is like chuck lift to swap
Oh my
lifters
God.
mid-lift.
How do you even do that?
We don't know. We don't.
Okay.
We're not doing it.
We're not doing that.
Oh, is that like level 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
What's how
It's
Unique
like
will
Team
be
Inspire
there.
do, don't they?
Yeah, but you wait till Team Inspire and like, God knows, there's obviously other things you can do, but someone's probably going to do it. And we're like,
Yeah.
what the
So-
hell? So yeah, they are actively trying to make it more exciting and kind of breaking the
Yeah.
boundaries of like.
We whipping out our axles, girlies.
Oh yeah, Hannah. It's like mandatory axles
And also, and we said it's not just synchro. In ice dance, so there's like a new thing where is it the rhythm dance or is
Yeah,
it both of
rhythm.
them?
Yeah.
Just
So just the rhythm. The judges pick the sort of theme for that
It's
music
90s,
season.
guys.
So yeah.
My
Is it
one, mine's
90s?
90s. Mine's 90s,
Oh,
yeah.
So
they're always picking a decade. God.
so it's usually sort of decades. But
I've got a bit of steps.
yeah, and
Oh.
Bit of,
and we were saying that that's sort of good for sort of like helping generate a bit more innovation and just sort of like
People skating to things they wouldn't usually skate to.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because
because
it's
not
stopping
the
people
traditional-
picking. This is what I always skate to. This is what I skate to. What I skate to well. So, but it's making people. Because like James and Phoebe, would they ever have skated to the Beatles? Probably not. But they had to.
No.
They had to pick something that was 60s or whatever.
Mm.
And so, but they've done it really well. So it's nice to see people skating to things that you wouldn't have seen them skate to before.
Yeah,
So
and
you
mind you, and that's the Olympic level, so it is
Yeah.
good to keep breaking the
Yeah.
boundaries and making it more engaging.
So you would say rules, like the ISU creating new rules and bringing new rules in definitely influences.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it kind of forces people to almost.
Yeah.
And also, I think, especially in synchro, the top teams who are very innovative, like Unique, it is very good for them to be like that because their ideas then kind of influence the rules being made by the judges next season.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Team Unique did backflips into the fucking death spirals. I guarantee that's going to be a rule in the
A
next
few
couple of
seasons
years.
time,
That
yeah.
is crazy.
So I feel like the
Standard's going to keep going up.
Yeah.
And the creativity of these sort of top elite teams literally pretty much influences the rules in a couple of seasons, and there's so many examples from previous seasons where it's just happened. But then again, I suppose you could say sometimes that innovation kind of backfires, because Team Inspire did back rolls through their intersection,
And when everyone saw it, they were like, "That's sick! That's so cool!"
Yeah.
And then
But then the judges said no because it was too dangerous, or they deemed it to be too dangerous. And Chris Buchanan hated it and stuff, and so I don't know. I feel
they're still a little bit stuck in there.
So I feel like
their way.
Stuck in
Like,
their little
"That's too
side
much."
there.
It's almost you can't please them. They're like, "We want more," and then you do something, they're like, "Whoa."
And they're like, how
Not that far.
Not that
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
taken it as What's the thing they banned? Oh, you can't
Backward spirals, is it?
yeah, and something to do with you can't do you know the handstand lifts?
Yeah.
Can't do those or something? Is it to do with the head can't be up near the ice or something?
Oh right.
Yeah, but you can do death spirals.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I swear Lauren was saying something about
Oh, I
it.
didn't know that.
Yeah, when we're doing lifts, Lauren was
Oh.
going, then there's this new rule, and I'm going, okay.
Okay.
How? Wait, I wrote this out. How best would it be communicated? So, across social media, articles, videos, interviews with judges or interviews with skaters. Like, how would you think you would be best receptive to seeing more representation?
I think probably the best, everyone's on social media now,
Yeah.
whether it be either Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, either any one of them, the whole skating community follows it on social media. You might be following another team or following another skater. I think social media would be quite a good one to do because, again, not many people watch the news anymore.
Yeah.
No, especially our age.
It's all depressing, so it's like... so I think social media would be quite a good one.
Yeah. I'd say social media is good to get a kind of conversation about it, but if you want to make more significant change or to definitely leave a more lasting impact, I'd say it would come more from the judges, and because obviously because the judges and the tech specs, they are the rule setters. So I feel like if any change
they have the most impactful voice.
Yeah.
So whether that be like an announcement on their website, I don't really know. How do they announce? Like they announce the rules.
They sort of announce stuff through coaches' conferences.
Yeah.
And then the coaches will
feed it back.
feed it back to the skaters.
That's how we
and then the
receive.
skaters discuss.
Yeah,
so it's a
receive
bit.
most of our
It's
information.
kind of like a pyramid.
Yeah, like it's almost like a feeding. They feed it to
Yeah.
people, and then it just disperses, and then that's probably how it gets twisted. To be honest.
Yeah, so true.
How much of a role do you think coaches have in continuing the traditional culture?
I think obviously it depends on who your coach is.
Yeah.
I'd say
I feel.
If you make like a generalization, like if don't get too into specifics.
Yeah. I'd say I actually nothing about it. Coaches are actually very impactful because I feel like at least in our club, the coaches are the ones who make the decisions in terms of program themes, skating
music,
style,
dresses. Yeah.
So whilst obviously the judges put out what they want to see, it's in the coach's choice to then either reject that or accept it. And obviously the skaters are going to say either way because, we're the skaters.
Well, some
and we're
teams
gonna-
obviously might have a
Yeah.
say, but I think it's quite common that most teams have their music picked for them. Obviously, then if you're
Yeah.
solo, pick your music
Yeah.
for yourself
Yeah.
or whatever.
And again, the coaches again sort of help dictate the culture for things like performance and appearance and stuff. Obviously, the Esther and just things like that as well. So yeah. So I would say coaches are very important for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. That supports my argument that I was making in my essay. So thank you.
Always good, always good.
Yeah.
Imagine if we disagreed.
I'd just be like, they didn't say
Been
so.
that.
Sorry.
But like
10,000 words on
Argue
it.
the other side.
Just think about it this way.
Just to be
you
the
know what I
devil's
mean?
advocate.
Yeah, just what if you looked at it from this angle? Okay, well, that's everything done. Have you guys got anything else? Any thoughts you want to say? Or
I don't know, did we
Were
have
there any more notes? Hang on.
Did we have anything else that
Oh,
we
no,
didn't
we're
talk
looking.
about? We went to a whole tangent. The whole
We
train
did.
carriage we got to hit. It was a full carriage, and we were getting
Yeah.
into it. We were going, actually.
So I'm just gonna brush my hair. It feels
Oh,
really,
that was
it
quite
needs to-
interesting.
It needs to brush.
About like new dresses, stuff, like yeah.
Oh yeah, we had stuff about like if you're like body conscious, like the dresses. It's very typical, like if it be a dress or like you said, like cat suits, but there's nothing kind of loose fitting. It's all very formed.
This
all
kind of
tight.
fits into
Right,
the
yeah.
pressure. into
Yeah, the
question.
pressure that was under our pressure one, yeah. So it's like if say you're a little bit uncomfortable wearing tight clothing
yeah.
or you're insecure about stuff, like
Yeah.
it's hard because
Especially because everyone else in Synchro is wearing the same thing as
yeah,
you, and if you look a bit different,
you look
in
different in it, yeah.
then you're gonna feel a bit more like,
Sticking
Yeah,
out.
it fits me like this, but it fits them like this, especially if your dress isn't made for you.
yeah.
And
It's like kit as well. You've got to wear the same kit.
yeah,
Those flared leggings may look amazing on someone.
yeah,
and you're like, why
not
does they
good
not
on
look
other
like?
people, like
And
white.
it's always in the group chats, like the people at Anna going, oh, please put in this public chat your size. Or,
yeah,
so it's just like, obviously for us, like, we're quite confident, so we're fine with it. But obviously for some girls who are a bit bigger, they're probably going to be like, oh, can I have a large, please?
yeah.
Mm.
Like, especially if you're seeing everyone else put their sizes in, everyone's like a 6 or an 8, and then you've got to say like 10 or 12. Like, it doesn't. That in reality, they're not that different. But
Yeah, but it's just probably.
There's a whole
I'd
stigma.
imagine it's quite a lot.
yeah,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Oh, we talked about like piercings and tattoos
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
In terms of
Ooh.
like inclusion,
Mm.
because we kind of took the angle for inclusion in terms of like personal expression, so things like tattoos and sort of
Okay.
piercings and stuff. So we said in Synchro there's not much space for inclusivity in terms of expression.
Yeah, and like
Because
having
you
your
have to look
identity.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look the same, yeah.
So yeah, so we're told all the time in terms of piercings to
Take them out.
take them out or to put clear piercings in, so you can't like make yourself distinct.
Mm.
Yeah, and things like hair color, like you couldn't
Yeah.
be in
Be
high school
shot
with
dead.
pink hair. It'd be like, here's a bag of box hair dye, like.
Yeah, go sort it out.
Yeah.
And
Tattoos is
even
an
with, like
interesting
short
one.
hair, like with the last year there was a girl who had really short hair and they wore ponytails. They made her wear like a hairpiece that just didn't match her hair. So it's like she might have even just been like, so now I've got to look like a freak with a hairpiece just because I've got short hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of.
That was so bad. I felt so bad for her. They just didn't get her a hairpiece that matched her hair.
I can't lie. It's so easy to get a nice hairpiece,
Yeah.
and they've got to show off.
There's literally
I would've-
hundreds on the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got beggar. I've had better like wigs for like Halloween costumes.
Yeah,
than
that
what she
hairpiece,
had for
I
a
get that.
competition.
I get that.
That is
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
something.
It looked like a Barbie, like a piece of Barbie hair.
It was really
Aw.
bad. Anyway, but yeah.
Was it fake hair as well? Like synthetic?
Probably.
Oh,
Yeah, defo.
bless her. That's actually really sad.
It was rough.
No, because I remember I think it was when Keelan got a tattoo and everyone was a bit like,
Yeah, that
Side-eyeing
was,
her. it was quite big. to be
It was
fair.
during those Jules dresses that had no sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Not
have girls that
bad.
have. Obviously, Grace has tattoos. But yours were like covered, but
Yeah.
some girls have like tattoos on their arms and stuff, so they had.
It's
to,
like
we obviously don't wear sleeveless.
Amelia had
Yeah.
tattoos on her arms and she had to put foundation. Like, even though our dresses had like
The
Mesh
was
sleeve,
covered
yeah.
mesh sleeves, she still had to put foundation on her things. And obviously, luckily, my one when I only had one obviously in the team, and that one's obviously covered. Obviously, I've got another one now which is on my arm, which I probably would have had to do the same. But Darcy was like that as well. She had tattoos.
Do you think you'll cover it up when you do solo or?
No, I think
It's nice to.
Yeah,
Well,
solo
my
you have that
dresses-
freedom.
yeah, solo you do have a much bigger how I want my hair, how I want my makeup.
Mm.
if I
You don't
want
have to have
my
that ugly
tattoos
red
out.
lip.
Yeah, if I what lip I want, like
Jesus
it's kind
Christ.
of it's kind of more up to you
Yeah.
personally rather than the team and dictating what you want to do.
But then,
I mean,
when
my
would that
dress
be what the judges want, you know?
Yeah.
exactly,
To be
and that's
fair,
what I
we,
mean.
We did also say, even though as an individual in Synchro, there's not much opportunity to be self-expressive. In terms of the different teams, like I'd say there is more flexibility in terms of just the categories and the overall sport because we have obviously we've used them a lot in the examples, but Team Unique versus Rockettes, they're both very different and distinct.
Yeah.
And have their own like identities as teams rather than as people.
So yeah, so there is like still some variety at least in sort of that inclusion in as a team, I guess. But as an individual within that team, there's not much room for self-expression. But
No, that was a good point. Thank you. Did any of you do any other sports apart from skating?
Yeah, I did dance.
I did like rugby in year 8 for like literally 1 year. In, like,
You were on the rugby
school.
team.
In year 8, yeah.
You did matches.
Yeah.
My little rugby player.
Yeah. Mate, how
Yeah.
am I so buff?
Bicep player.
Okay, I'm asking this because this is what my supervisor, she said to go down this route, and she was like, do you think there's less pressure to conform in sporty sports without the presentation mark?
Oh.
I don't know. Obviously, where I didn't do a sporty sport, it was
Yeah.
dance. It was still dance is very similar to skating in the beauty standards of it,
Yeah.
and obviously the leg lines and all of that lot. So I mean, in that sort of aspect, I went to a dance college for college, and
Yeah.
a lot of the girls are very glam, are very stereotypical beauty standards, and like you can see sometimes the favoritism in that, which is obviously the same as skating. But I don't know about rugby. I'm guessing they're all just like
Share your rugby experience. She's regretting saying rugby.
I don't actually remember much. It's obviously you're right. I can't remember much about it. And obviously it was literally like an after school activity. It wasn't a very serious thing
Yeah.
at all. But I will say like I didn't thrive that much in it because I just wasn't very good at it.
Mate, why have you brought this up? This was something you could have kept yourself.
because I did another sport. I
can contribute.
I did rugby. No, but I guess obviously the girls who did better in it were obviously the bigger girls. So yeah, I guess they'll in terms of pressure, I'm trying to think. I was never really pressured.
I hope not in year 8.
In a certain way, to be honest.
There were just different standards in different sports.
Yeah.
Different standards. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like if you just from like a spectator, from looking you watch football or like we've recently watched a hockey game.
Oh yeah.
They obviously do not need to be like elegant. They're just doing what they need. Like, it's purely just technique and athleticism. Whereas obviously there's a lot of technique and athleticism in skating, but you do have that like we say, there are literal marks for presentation.
Yeah. Something that I think is universal though in every sport is that how you're treated and how you're perceived in a team sport especially is just purely your ability.
Based on your ability. And it's like you say it like a lot of people probably think like ice school's very cliquey. If you're good, you'll be liked.
You're fine.
If you're say you're not conventionally attractive, you don't and you're really good,
because
you're
valued.
You're valued.
Because Neve does not necessarily conform to a lot of the things that ice schools
No.
does and her lifestyle and how she kind of is.
Yeah.
But
She's not a drinker, she's not a partier, she's not like heavily into makeup, fake tan.
Yeah.
But
so she technically doesn't conform in terms of that, but like she's she's
Amazing.
so good.
she's
as a
so
skater.
good.
Yeah.
Everyone
And she's lovely.
no one
Yeah.
she's
So, yeah.
Okay. I think we're done.
Fabby.
Oh, very.
Thank you so much for helping me.
No worries.
If I need anything else, like in the future, if you guys want to do a photo shoot or something,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We were saying this. When it got made, I was going, "Oh my god, she's so gonna ask us to like." You know, be, like
She was thinking,
Model.
oh my god, photos.
Bowden part 2.
And she's like, oh, I've got to get intellectual.
I'll get the Traitors Girl down for you.
Oh
But yeah, because
my god.
it's actually really hard because I need skating costumes and like you cannot just. I'm not gonna spend like 300
It's so
quid
real.
on one.
No, we have access to all the.
We have the Icicles archive. They're all at Anna Longworth.
I'm maybe hitting you up, please.
Yeah, honestly. Those clown dresses.
Yeah, get those circus dresses.
No,
Get those chasing cars.
Those chasing cars dresses and those blue ones.
Those are really pretty. Yeah,
Yeah, on our short programs last year.
I really like them.
Oh, that's so good.
Honestly, the icicle dresses are just nice.
They are top tier.
They are good.
They are
And the lady comes in and she literally just goes, measure, so it's all done
What
to you.
size are your boobs?
Yeah, she literally goes, cup size, and I'm going,
B. And then they're still too big. Yeah.
I am minus AA.
No cup if possible.
I just go, I don't really wear bras to be honest, but if you were to give me a size, whatever hers is.
This big.
around this hand size.
Around
What do you think?
Tell me what you think.
Yeah, if you need anything, like
Yeah, let us
that.
know.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. I probably will be asking
Yeah.
again.
No, that's no problem.
Okay.
Slay.
Well,
I
thank
realised
you.
I'm Amy Ills. Amy Ills.
Amy Elf. Okay. Well, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
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 It's lovely to see you.
It's lovely to see you both. Okay.
Hello, my naughty. Oh, they're gone. Oh,
They did not care.
they do not care.
Bye-bye.